A window that only shows you other people's feet and the tires of cars driving by. That is the Kim's family's view of the world at the beginning of Parasite. Not a skyline, not really a street even. No faces to be seen. Just the ground level evidence of people passing above them on their way to somewhere else. Bong Joon-ho could have established his character's poverty in dozens of ways. He chose to take a spatial approach. He showed you where they stand in relation to everyone else, literally, before he showed you anything else about them. That's what we've been learning to see in this course so far. We've been developing a way of reading films as systems, technical architectures that produce specific human effects. Our approach has been to ask, what are the mechanisms that the filmmakers are using? What are the technical decisions, and what reactions are they calculated to produce in the people watching? This week, we take that framework and apply it to a film that turns things kind of inside out. Parasite is made by a director who grew up studying the whole tradition of cinematic architecture. Bong knows how these systems work, and he built a film that uses them to make you feel uncomfortable with your own position as a viewer. Parasite follows the Kim family as they systematically infiltrate the household of a wealthy family, with each member faking credentials to secure employment. What begins as a dark comedy becomes a thriller, and then something close to a horror movie. But as important and interesting as the plot is, it's not what I want you to pay the most attention to. Instead, I want you to look at the house. From the moment the Kims arrive at the Park residence, pay attention to its spatial grammar. What is above and what is below? Where does the light come from? Who has access to which rooms? Count the stairs, and I mean literally count them if you can, because Bong uses vertical movement in this film the way that Lang used architecture in Metropolis, as a precise argument about who occupies what position in a social order. The Park House is not merely the backdrop to the film's plot, or the staging ground for the characters' interactions. It can be understood as the essence of the film's thesis, made physical. There's a sequence late in the film where heavy rain falls on both families. For the Parks, it's a mild inconvenience. For the Kims, the same rain is a catastrophe. Their home floods, and their belongings are destroyed. The same weather might as well be happening in two completely different worlds. That is the sequence I want you to think hardest about this week. Watch how Bong cuts between those two responses. Watch the editing rhythm, the score, the framing. What impression does the structure of that sequence make upon you? And notice this. Bong doesn't provide a tidy explanation of what it's all supposed to mean. He doesn't have a character deliver a speech about inequality. He just shows you the space and lets you sit in it. Now, I want to introduce a thinker this week whose work fits Parasite with uncanny precision. Pierre Bourdieu was a French sociologist who argued that class is not simply a matter of money. Instead, it is an embodied set of dispositions, ways of moving, speaking, dressing, and carrying yourself in the world, which are acquired so early in life and so thoroughly they stop feeling like behavior and start feeling like nature. He called this the habitus, a kind of second nature, social coordinates which have been installed in the body below the level of conscious thought. Alongside this, Bourdieu described what he called cultural capital. The tastes, vocabulary, the ease of being in certain kinds of rooms, the ability to navigate different kinds of cultural institutions, all of which signal genuine class belonging. Bourdieu's critical point was this: cultural capital is something that can't really be bought. It's not something that you can really be given either, at least not at once. Cultural capital can only really be acquired slowly, through exposure, over time. It is something which is installed in the body gradually, and the body does not lie about its presence or absence easily. Watch the Kims in Parasite through this lens. Their operation is a performance of a habitus that is not really theirs. They've studied the signals, the manners, the references, the posture that the Parks will read as belonging. The Kims are executing all of these with impressive skill. Bourdieu's darkest point, and it connects directly to what Bong is showing you, is that this system does not really require villains. It does not require the Parks to be cruel or malicious or anything like that. It only requires a game in which the rules favor those who've been playing the longest, and in which the rules feel, to those who have fully internalized them at least, simply like reality.